Hello everyone, this is Professor095 back with a new Tuesday stream review. As you can see in my background, I'm technically now back in my hometown, so for a semester break. So yeah, I think I can have some time to relax for a bit and try to do a lot of content while I'm still here. So yeah, so technically speaking, I'm now back in my hometown and now I have more time to do some content and whatnot. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into today's news stream. But before we get into the news, I would like to say thank you very much for watching. If you are watching, if you haven't subscribed, do hit like and subscribe, and catch me on more future content. And my 5-minute deck set is gonna come around this week, so stay tuned on that. I'm gonna do some review on it and probably might do a mini deck profile based on that. So I think it'd be exciting. So let's get straight into one of the few things that I wanted to highlight, which is Almagestra Astra Unica actually gets an order card this time. But it's actually quite a good order card because the fact that it is play for Astra, Almagest Celestia, so she's a normal order, and her skill is that you can only play this card if you have a Vanguard with Astra, so it's either the Astra Unica or it's the Astra Mascus, so you can actually play this in the Mascus version as well. You counter charge 1, which is pretty good, and you choose a drop zone. You choose up to 3 triggers from your drop zone and put it to your soul, and during this turn, if you have removed Astro in its card name from your game during this turn, you choose one of your Vanguards and it gets 1 critical until the end of turn. So this card specifically actually tries to help Astra become Mascus. The fact that Unica Astra become Mascus doesn't really get the crit, which is a little bit like a minus from her original form. So this card specifically helps to counter, not counter to support that fact, and trying to fill in 3 triggers from those is actually quite good, because you can actually have the chance to try to bind any more critical triggers, and you just Soul Blast triggers and whatnot, right? So it's a very good card, and you get to CC 1, so which is quite nice on her own. So this is very good. Probably this card of the day, I just got straight in card of the day, right? So Gruesome Sight Dragon. So when this unit is placed on rearguard, on the last one, you discard a trigger unit from your hand, you choose 1 column and retire all of your opponent's rearguard on that column. So that's kind of good. I'm not sure, you can play this in Unica technically, but Unica doesn't really have space. Unless you're playing for that mean deck like Transrotter, I guess also that's kind of fine as well. So yeah, Gruesome Sight is there. But I also really wanted to talk about today's card of the day, which is super crazy for Catter, and everybody was like, yo, this is going to kill Zonga or something like that. So you understand once I explain the skill. So we have Knight of Frigid Dragon. So he's from Catter Sanctuary. So he has an insane skill for a C card, right? For a common card, this is quite a very, very good skill. Then this unit is placed on rearguard circle. You counter blast 1 and discard 1 card from your hand and choose one of your opponent's rearguard, and your opponent puts all the cards with the same name as the chosen unit from their rearguard and drops onto the bottom of the deck in any order. So this kills a lot of decks. RPD, Roaming Prison Dragon, this kills Zorga, this also kills Treatment with Baba Sagra, in Baba Sagra, and I don't know, maybe some cards that are actually useful, I guess, for and that actually works in a drop zone. Maybe I think the most common thing that everybody was talking about was it kind of counters Solga, it kind of counters Baba Sagra as well, because once you select all, let's say for example, if you select Roaming Prison Dragon, and it's not just only the rearguard circle, but it's also the drop and spawn to the bottom of the deck in any order, so it just completely wipes it clean, so that you don't, the Zorga player can't really bounce back that Roaming Prison Dragon if they alchemy magic. So it's kinda insane for a C card, and I'm not sure if cards in the Catter Sanctuary is gonna play this card in the near future, and I have no idea, because space is already an issue for most Catter decks, but for this card to be this good to were to like specifically trying to counter Zonga or like Baba Saga, I mean like if Baba Saga is out of the picture, this is actually kind of like a very good card on its own, right? So I'm not sure if anyone else gonna play this. Yeah, so he doesn't really do much for this one. Okay, so anyways, that's aside, we have the new V premium promos for this time round. So we have Kagero and we have Bermuda Triangle. So we have Fire Attack Dragon and we have Live in Happy Vacation Charmaine. So the skill for Kagero is that once per turn, when Vanguard Rearguard skill, when he attacks during boosted, you Soul Blast one, you choose one column and retire all of your opponent's Rearguards in that same column, so which is good. Field Wide, basically just Root Flare. Basically it's just like the recycler from Dragon Empire. So there's that, and then the second skill is the Right Searcher. So yeah, self-explanatory. I don't need to explain that. We have Bermuda Triangle, which her skill is that attacks while being boosted, counter +1. You choose one of your rearguards and other rearguards and return it to your hand. If your opponent's grade 3 Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you choose up to 1 mermaid in your hand with a different card name from this card and call it to the rearguard circle. So which is quite useful, maybe for Highlander, maybe for Prisons, maybe for Anji, I don't know. I'm not really super familiar with V Bermuda Triangles, but this is actually like quite good as well. I'm not sure if you have space to put this in Melody, but I have a feeling that Melody doesn't really need this card, but for other decks maybe, yeah. And so the second skill is explanatory, so it's like standard shop 20 PRs, we got this. The ones is the same from July up until August. So we have Impediment Searcher, we have the Security, I forgot what's his name, we have the Great Tool, we have the Best Harvest, we have the Gandiva Hero support, we have Petrarca support. Everything I have kind of like explained on the previous video, so that's quite nice. I personally already have 4 of this orders because this order is like kind of cheap at the moment for me personally. Okay, so I mean I got it for cheap. The rest is questionable for Seraph and Bastion as well, because I heard that the non-foil version is selling for 40 per. The foil versions, however, are selling like twice the amount, so this is going to be like hurt a lot. Like for Seraph players or like Bastion players, for it to get the foil version. That's how Verse is okay, I guess. And the Gandiva Great Tools is still okay-ish, I'd say. Not many people are looking for the I guess the least exciting one is still the Heroes one. And this the Divine Sister one from Kettle, the one that grade 2 gets a boost if you have like your soul has a grade 3. So this one is not very sought after, but the rest is pretty good on their own. So yeah, so I probably I already have full everything. I mean my Bruce grade 4 deck is already here and like all done, almost full built. I'm just looking for another extra Edens and whatnot. Okay, so with that, we have the Tuesday stream reveals, which appeared in like this last Saturday's Vanguard Redraft Season 3. This card is used by Yu. So we have Burst Equipped Dragon, we have Ranjat, Ranjado. So when this unit is discarded by the cost of Vanguards, like Nirvana Vanguard, you Soul Bluffs one and you can call it to the rearguard circle. And second skill continuous rearguard. If during this turn, if you have a unit in crossover dress states and this unit gets boost. Okay, so technically he's basically what's that angel's name? So he's basically that Wayward Therapy Angel, but only for Nirvana. So technically speaking, and the fact that you can discard him and then just Soul Blast one to call him back is also kind of nice. Then the fact that he's also like a 10k booster is okay-ish. The thing about this card Ranjak in general is that if he can call himself out, he would be probably going to be used as a card for the turbo, like crossover dress engine. If you do not have like any other good good prayer dragons on the field at the moment, so he's technically also like a free easy target for like crossover dress. But other than that, the fact that he can fill the board by himself by the Soul Blast one, if discarded by Nirvana's effect, is okay, pretty good on its own. So I have mixed feelings about this card in general, because the fact that number one, it's also good and bad at the same time. Cross overdress, from what I've heard from my friends who actually like play tested this card, they say like, you know, that most of the time, cross overdress really doesn't need a, you know, booster in general. So how would I want to put this? It's basically this Prayer Dragons is gonna end up being cross overdress anyway, so you know, why bother? But I guess I mean they have some valid points in the sense that he's also a Prayer Dragon, so he's gonna be used for cross overdress, so the boost is kind of useless in a sense. So I mean, to each their own, I guess. I mean, for me, I have mixed feelings, but the fact that he can just free call himself, well, not technically free, because like the Soul Blast one, you just call him back and just pretty good on its own already. So yeah, that's that. Alright, now we have Delta Effin Sorceress. So this is a Cactus Sanctuary card for Hexa Orb support. So the skill is that when this unit is placed on the rearguard circle from your hand, you have which everybody have to remember, if you have a grade 3 or greater Sorceress Vanguard, you counter blast 1, you look at the top 2 cards of the deck, 1 to hand and the rest at the top on the or the bottom of your deck in any order. If you Persona rolled during this turn, you can choose a critical trigger or the front trigger from your hand, reveal it, and put it on the top of your deck. So basically speaking, this is a grade 2 Hexa Orb Sorceress, the old Hexa Sorceress, so she's kind of nice. So she's pretty good, really good, and Hexa Orb is probably going to be way better. I mean, like, she's gonna get better this time around. I would say no. I mean, like, other than saying that this is actually a very good card, because, like, you know, old Hexa, there's that. Alright, okay. But now the part that I'm really excited about is that we have actually Viamence Bruce support cards this time around. Now, I've seen a lot of people like voice kind of that, like, their excitement and then, like, their sense of approval towards like the reviews, because Viamence Bruce is technically good, but it could be better, and it is personified in the next 2 cards which we're gonna review. So technically speaking, we have the first card here, which is Diablos Hellbacker Derek. So it's actually like Derek and it's not Derek, as in like the old BT3 card. The skill is, he's a rare, by the way, grade 1. If you're in Final Rush, during this turn, this unit gets continuous regard. When this unit boosts, during the battle, when this unit boosts, your opponent must call 2 or more at the same time when they want to guard, so which is pretty nice. And he gets 5k, so 13k booster, guard restrict in one way or another, and at the end of that turn, he has to retire himself, and this effect is mandatory, right? So, and that's that. Okay, now you can do essentially you can do a lot of combos with this thing. So one of the few ways we have technically, like, when this review came out, and I'm in all of the WhatsApp groups and the Discord servers, we basically discussed like how this card is actually quite versatile in like a lot of, not just only in Viamence, but it's also like very useful in like grade 3 and grade 4 Bruce for several reasons. First things first, if you combo with Patrick, and if you use Patrick's skill to Soul Blast 1 and try to drag 2 of your opponent's rearguard and to the Guardian Circle, and let's assume they do not have enough to guard and they decided they want to guard, right? So technically speaking, let's say for example, I would swing, let's say Patrick's gonna swing for like 20 and he's gonna boost for 33, and I'm gonna like call like actually, like, say for example Obscudate, right, to the rearguard, to the Guardian Circle, and then he gets a 10k shield, and then you drag another Obscudate into the front row, right? So technically 2 Obscudates to the Guardian Circle. Alright, that's sense, right? So let's assume they really want to guard, alright, and they don't want to waste that. Technically, if a 5k shield would suffice, but because this, you can combo with this, and then you have to force your opponent to discharge another extra extra card from their hand, thus wasting their hand size, which is technically good. So in total, like, you have to like waste like you can technically retire 2 of their rearguards and also like force 2 if they really wanted to guard, and it's really useful in some situations when they're already on the verge of dying, you know, like in 5 damage, so it's pretty good on its own. If you're going to play this in, let's say, Viamence, you can play this in, I don't know, the grade 3, grade 4 Bruce. You can also combo with Eden as well if they really wanted to PG, like Eden's very high attack, for example. They usually people will just perfect guard it, but because, you know, his skill will require have to guard with 2 or more at the same time. You just have to like guard with another one. So pretty good as well. I mean, the downside is that it has to retire itself, but I guess that's a cost of like being a rather good generic card for all like Bruce decks, because it's in Final Rush and not Final Burst. So Viamence can play this, Violence can play this, Irel can play this, so it's really good. So on its own, right? So that's Derek, and then we have the most like satisfying support that I've ever seen in a while. It's not super good, but it's good enough to warrant like ignite my excitement back in like playing Bruce. So technically speaking, we have Diablos, Rapid Carrier Geno. Yeah, so we have the skill Auto. So here's a double ray, by the way, grade 2 double ray. Front row rearguard circle. When your Vanguard attacks, if you're in Final Burst, you solve +2, and for every 2 cards in your damage zone, you stand 1 of your rearguards in the same column as this unit. If you stand 2 during this turn, those powers plus 5k. Those units gets 5k power. Alright. So, and the second skill, front row rearguard circle. At the end of the turn, if you are in Final Rush, you put this unit in your soul and you choose 1 normal unit from your soul and bounce it back and add it to your hand, right? Okay, so let's talk about the implications of the card, because I am very excited about this card for several reasons. Number 1, this is the 5th attacker in Viamence Bruce, because technically speaking in Viamence Bruce you can do like 4 attacks at most maximum, right? He is the 5th attacker for Viamence, and the fact that he can actually like try to, because of the restand, right? And he also pluses himself and the other rearguard circle, like the not other rearguard circle 3, like your other rearguard. So he stands and they all get 5k, right? So assuming like say you're going to stand let's say Heidi for example, so you swing with like 23k, and then when your Vanguard attacks, you just soul +2 restand himself for every 2 cards in your damage zone. So technically you just restand him and restand Heidi and you get +5/+5, right? So he's going to be like say 23, then you 33, then Heidi boost again with that, so he's gonna be like 38k in this entire column. So technically a 5th attacker for like Viamence Bruce, which is super great, super nice, well done, right? Second skill is also kind of good because he's basically essentially he's basically a protobot without the CB, and you can fetch a normal unit back to your hand. So which means you can fetch back your Persona Reds, you can fetch fetch back your P cards, you can fetch back your Kanzen guards, etc. Right? So yes, this is the card that it might not sound good for some players, but for us like Bruce players, this is actually like super great. Viamence actually poses some level of threat already in this deck, as if he's not already. I mean, technically speaking, Viamence Bruce is not super meta-ish, but I felt like with this addition to like Geno's addition to the Viamence Bruce deck, it makes the deck more fun to play, more attacks to swing, more threat levels with the Derek guy that we kind of like review, and also comes with the fact that we have to rethink our strategies on how to play Viamence Bruce. Because if you remember, and if you do watch my my deck profile for Viamence Bruce, for Viamence Bruce, technically speaking, I play the red OT in this one. So technically speaking, I also can keep this red OT, but at the same time, I can play the vanilla OT as well for like that 100 million, so it's technically quite good. If with the red OT I can do 6 attacks, if with this the normal OT I just can swing for like 100 million on both sides, right? But it kind of gives us a lot of like I wouldn't say dilemma, more like about like how are we supposed to build our decks in the future, because you have a lot of other good cards within Viamence Bruce that you can carry over from the old support. Let's say, for example, Julian, Mabel, Megan, Jamil, the counter charger, I think it's Greg, that's his name. What about Trish? What about Heidi? Etc. Right? So all of these cards are like super important for like current Viamence Bruce builds. And I think with the addition of Derek and Gino at the into this whole reviews, kind of gives us a sense of like a new way of, or like try to like change and adapt. Like say, how are we supposed to make Viamence Bruce more better, more stronger? Perhaps maybe for example you want to retain your Edens, you want to kick out your Patricks for example, or you just want to like keep your Patricks and combine it with the Derek, the Great One Derek that we kind of like reviewed just now. So there's a lot of versatile ways of like knowing like what your playstyle is. Do you want to force guard, restrict and retire, or do you just want to go for pure power, etc. Right? So these are actually like one of the few important factors when it comes to these new reviews coming in. And so for us Bruce players, I think it's what a time to be alive to be a Bruce player. So I'm personally very happy with like Gino and Derek, because it kind of gives like additional levels of like versatility of deck building, the creativity of deck building. How do we want to try to build our Viamence Bruce in a very, very threatening manner? And it's not just Viamence Bruce, I think we can actually try to play this in, let's say for example, Grade 3 or Grade 4 Bruce, because like the fact that Derek and Gino has a final rush still means that we can also try to incorporate this cards into those decks as well. So for us Bruce players, it's about time for us to like jump into like put on our thinking caps and jump into the bandwagon and try to test out whatever good decks are, like what is the legitly one of the good playstyles that we are really accustomed with, what we really like, and that's about it, right? So yeah, that's about it for the reviews this time around. Next stream we'll review cards that is appeared in episode 2 of the anime, as well the info of SEC cards in BT12. Okay, so that's kind of exciting. I'm kind of looking forward to that. So yeah, that's about it. Right, so without further ado, I would like to end this video right here right now. If you have anything else you want to like try to add, or if you like felt like you want to maybe comment on something, maybe I've made a mistake, maybe I have like overlooked something, please do hit down whatever you're thinking of in the comments, and yeah, give me a good feedback, and stay tuned for my Fafnir deck set box opening, which will be coming hopefully it will be coming around this week, because like because the deck sets are delayed in Malaysia for like about like 2-3 days or so. So I'm kind of bummed out, and now I flew back here to my hometown. I'm not in KL anymore, so it's going to be like I'm kind of like bummed out because the deck set actually arrived yesterday night. So my flight is also on yesterday night, so I have to wait for that deck set to come here. But that aside, I would see you guys on the next video, which is the Fafnir deck set. Please stay tuned, and I'll see you guys on the next video. This has been Professor095 signing out.